Okay, somebody asked about this, about scalping versus swing trading. Well, what's the easy answer is, what's the difference is swing trading, you would have wider stops and wider take profits, and you have a longer time frame, I'm assuming. Of course, the concept of swing trading can be a scalp also. I mean, in essence, the only way to make money is to go against, to be selling high, buying it back, buying it and selling it to somebody else. So that's the easy answer. So if we look at here, I'm buying at the market because this is the pullback to support in the British pound. British pound on the daily is going up, right? It's going up, but it's not going up in a straight line. This is when people get geometryitis and they think everything moves in a straight line, right? They get this trend line problem. There's a trend line. Now look at perfect touches here, right? Of course, don't forget there's a big hole forming underneath here. But did it really matter to the guy that was range trading whether or not this has a perfect trend line on it? Probably not so much. Because the trick here is to buy that dippity-do in such a way off of the 100-yard line. But see, we didn't hit the 100-yard line. So you have to commit to, when this is crushing back in, you commit to buying this whole void here for 100 pips. Now that's a swing trade. You buy every 10 pips all the way down in here. By the time it gets to here, you're in 58K. So you take these guys and add these up. This is a 3 pip range for 4 pips. I mean, 4 tickets in a 3 pip range because you're buying 0, the top of that. So this is a 10 pip grid. So if you were to buy the top, if you're going to buy the top and the bottom, the 10 pip grid is going to be 2 tickets. So same thing, a 1 pip grid, 2 tickets of paradise. Here you have one, you're on. It's the idea that you're getting in a range, okay? Now once you go to this level and look at it from pip for pip basis, you have a whole different concept of where is a good trade now. Obviously, you had to sell above here, right? You had to step up to the plate, pepper this fucker for 40 pips, right, to capture the top of that. It was a no-brainer scalp at resistance, just like these are here. You just have a big, this is when your swing trading account's going to make money. Now your scalping account, you're on this 15-minute chart, right? So you can see the scalpers that you fix the scale there and change time frames, it's a whole different world, right? The guy that's trading the breakout up in here in the nosebleeds. Now, this entry here, same entry here. See, what people get confused is they're not willing to accept this risk here, so they look at these patterns and try to make assumptions of, oh, should I pull the trigger? Should I sell? Okay, maybe you do sell every price pulse up here, but why work so hard? What is this work ethic shit? Just put a big sell bank up in there. It's a killer fucking entry all day long. Same thing here. Dumbass fucking trading. Look at this. Here's the monthly vacuum fill and reject, right? This whole thing, you're above water on this shitty entry here. Your first sell is above water. Well, I was going to stop her. No shit. I could lay a 50K up there. Easy. And I could lay 100K up there and get filled on a 50 easy and ride that whole thing back. This is the dumbest fucking trade in the world. I had sell limits to here. The broker shut me down. I had so many orders in. Sell limits to that round. Just round numbers a big deal in these markets. Look at this tag and bag at the round number here. This is how dumb trading is. It blows. If you need Fibonacci for these entries at the 100-yard line, you need fucking help. Okay, you're mentally fucking ill. Like, look at this attempt here. Look at these wicks. Who's not selling this insanity? There's people that are short from here, don't forget. There's people that got in. They sold all the way to here, and they're like, oh yeah, when it comes back here, there'll be a break even. The buyers will come back in. Monthly euro. Okay. Vacuum is filled. Mission accomplished. It's going to take a hell of a lot to get above here now. Right? How much do we have to pull back if we ever do? This may be the uncrossable sea of uncrossableness. This is 19, and this is $1.98, just like Kresge before they folded. So, market's pretty designed for dumb people. So don't let it insult your intelligence. I know it's killing people like Calvin. The clever, smart people with the geometric approach they're befuddled and miffed, and they're betrayed by their geometry. So you have to buy this. Look at this is a goober trade. It's going up. Buy. One last move. Maybe tomorrow we go after the just up in here. Don't get any grandiose targets either. I'm just thinking, if we're lucky, we'll make it back to here tonight to the round number. I just don't. So buy at the market here, scalping, but I have swing trades beneath me, so do both, right? Now, you're going to have to figure out the risk on these tickets. Right. And this is covering quite a big zone tonight. Quite a big zone. This is another top-bottom zone here. We have a structure, high top, become a bottom with a 30 pip overshoot, right? But look at this stop hunt. Some goober put a stop in here, right? Uptrend. You're taking all those things. Not to say that the counter trend traders aren't cleaning up. You need to counter trend trade and trend trade. Right? Then you're a range trader. By default, you're a range trader even if you don't want to be one. Once they trap these bozos up here, they pull it all the way back to this internal starting gate. But this is your pivot. And where is that on the price grid? It's just below the 100. Okay. Now, if you put up a 20 pip grid, 25 pip grid, it's going to come dead on 25 pips, right about there. Now, they can still collapse this, so I'm not in heavy. Most of my order bank is designed on what you would call a black swan event for anybody that's trying to trend trade this. So you can get projections, you can make your trend lines, but what if they pull back really hard? Like, I'm sure somebody had a trend line here, and they said, oh yeah, look, it's pulling back to the trend line. It's ferociously going to continue. But guess what? Not so fast. So you're buying here. You got buy limits here, even though you're buying at the market. Like a goof. You know, you bought here, get your trailing stop, looking for a follow through, doesn't come, they stop you out. You come in here super aggressive and realize that this is the party zone for limits, right? Your limit crop lives in here. You put a 20K in there, you get filled on 10K, you made money. You don't have to know where the market's going to make money. Same thing here. We're going to sell up here tonight on limits, right? Absolutely retarded trade, right? No brainer. Cash is out, coming back. There's scalps built in there. You don't need to be there for that trade. You have a glorious sell here that might make this much, but you have to realize once you get up into this zone and it starts to go like this, you need trade plans for this shit. For this. Right, you need to be making money on that. Take your 10 pips, take your 5 pips, take your 10 pips, then bam, right? Buy on limits. Right? You load up. Scalp to here, dump. Scalp to here, dump. Pure limits. Set it and forget it. You buy a 200 pip grid. Put more orders down here in the bottom, right? So you buy a little bit here. As it comes down, you're buying more and more. Right? You have to. Martingale wins every time if you have enough money in the account. Always, right? You're buying in to this heavy dump. You need to dump. You could sell here. It's structure. Boosh. Start buying here very aggressively. New lows, very, like you buy all the way down here lightly, but you load up on that nick. When they nick the wick right here, this is where you buy. Mind-blowingly heavy, right? You just keep stacking these little soldiers up on that line. Just like tonight, you can sell here, but you're going to sell unbelievably in a 20 pip range here for the scalp back because there's sell limits. You're imagining a wick to come. Just imagine the wick to come. Where's the next smash up or smash down? Where's that coming? So we could smash up here. We could break out of this 4 hour quiet entry. ATR bots are going to come in on this right now. But they could go the other way. So I put my black swan orders in. Here's the another broker trapped in a this is a 20 pip grid trapped inside the here's the top bottom at the much maligned top bottom theory right at the 100-yard line. See, these wicks, you can't pay, these wicks will just kill you. That's why I also have my candles are just set to non-directional because I can pretty much see that this is a double top. Now, it's not a double top in candles. This is where the fractal, you can count the wick as a fractal. I'm not. I'm counting this as the fractal. Every time the market goes up, and as soon as it turns, that's the fractal right there. So the Bill Williams fractal for me is going to be the carrot's going to be on the tops and bottoms, literally. When they come back to this 100-yard line, and this is the big stop out, or the trap, loading up on limits here, cashing out half the position by here, you let the rest go. So at the 100 again, you only make 20 pips here. Again, another 20 pips. So if you have a script that's going to make 15, 12, 20, 8, okay, you need to put that cluster in there. Let that play out, then reload the gun again. Because even if you sold here at the 100 for here, now you got to come back and do the same thing as they trap these guys in this 20 pip window. See, 20 pip windows of entry. 100-yard line, no brainer. 20 pips clean, right? Got to be out though, because everything changes Here was the big rally into the floor, and you had to get out, right? If you bought here, you had to get out there in the floor. Otherwise, you're only up 10 pips right now in that trade. Or you sold here, come back here. If you don't get out here, maybe it's going to drift back here, and so you got to get out when the getting's good. But you don't have to be there for the scalp either. I could put a scalp bank down here where the market comes crushing in, and I have profits that are like this come spawning off of an iceberg and hard stop in here. Right? You have to imagine the trade before it comes. Here you're selling up into this. Here you're selling at 113 easy for pullbacks to here, right? Easy. It's just limits. You don't have to. You don't have to really worry about stuff so much. It takes a lot to constantly monitor the market. So if I just said, well, I'm just going to buy like a 40 pip start right here, right? Who can't see this as a low risk trade, right? That's one case. Can you handle that? I mean, you're risking $12 here, another 12. Overlap them, right? So overlap these. I'm going to risk $50 to make $28. I'm going to buy it here. See, now when you go to the daily, you're like, you know what? That doesn't look like a bad trade after all. I don't know if there's news coming out tomorrow, but if you imagine right here, you just start buying here, and the market is going to come down, and it's going to do its thing. You try to make 20 pips with a 40 pip stop, right? 3K. Can you afford 3K? Okay, $12 to make $12 is 40 pip retrace. So you got to know if you're going to buy here at the 100 again, that's going to all his balance is 40 pips, and you cashed out of that trade. So here, how to catch this thing on the way up. So how about this? let's try to make, this is a 10K. I'll buy new lows. So when they stop hunt the guys in Asia, I'll scalp that. Right, that's a break even. Put in another order, 8 hours. I'll risk 20 to make 20. Buying here at the round number. So if you go to the daily time frame, 4-hour time frame, you know, yeah, this looks like a good trade. So time frame is critical. Now the swing trade you can see here is painfully obvious in the 4-hour, right? As the market builds up, creates a vacuum by walking down this channel here. Like if you can probably get a crude drift down, right? This is the perfect range traders drift down. Double bottom becomes a top, bottom becomes a top at the 100. So you break out, you pull back to the breakout point, and then it goes. Now it's just about filling this void here, right? So the Gartleys, if you're going to draw Gartleys, shouldn't they be the void that you're trying to fill, not on top of the chart? That's not the problem with they're missing the point of the vacuum fill. The Gartley is the vacuum fill, not the, they're drawing their Gartleys over price, right? Isn't it about this filling? And isn't it going to be about, if this gets fragile, this kind of backfill, smash down, it spills out, right? It spills out of that, like it did here. Up too quick, creeper gear meltdown. But the range traders made money because they're trading that channel at an angle. Like if you say draw a channel, some people actually say this. When I think of channel, I think of a channel walking up. That you're range trading that channel, counter trend, counter trend. It's constantly updating your orders and stuff. So the British pound looks destined for a run here for another, say, 10 pips. But the question is it worth our while to jump on that train? Well, you have to go to the 5-minute chart, right? Consult the 5-minute chart when in doubt. Okay, so go to the 5-minute chart. And yeah, I guess you kind of missed your entry here, right? This broker, by the way, this is Uniglobe. If you don't get out of the market by 5 p.m., you're going to get raped without any lubricant here. That's the spread. That's the bid going down. So this is the one that everybody's giving me a hard time. Oh, you're on a demo. Dude, not only am I on a demo, but I'm a demo where the spread goes to 20 pips on close on the British pound. Get a load of that. So look at that fucking thing. But see, it's a buy now, right? So we have to buy that. We're going to chase it here. Before the breakout, we're buying before this breakout at the market. Another thing is you could load on hedges when you see a doji. Definitely going to trade harder on the breakouts strategies. So you're running all these in your mind, or you have a buy stop here. Because if you think this isn't an uptrend, and how much pullback you're getting, you're only getting one red candle, and the rest is going doji, and people are making a mint here on this nonsense. Scalpers that don't think in terms of moving averages, they've just got orders in here to literally make money from this psychosis here, where the market's been here in some fashion during those 4 hours. I guarantee you living inside here might be a double bottom on the 5 here, on a triple top on the 5. Inside, so you're watching this thing climb up here, and your scalp banks are up here. You don't need to be on the 5-minute chart to scalp either. I don't think so. You got buy limits sitting here, right? Cozy pack of buy limits here. Now, if you stayed in this till here, you're like, whoa, talk about trading, right? But there's plenty of chances to get on the 4-hour stop hunt. Buying goobers stops off them, right? So maybe your money's coming from goober stops here. They put their stop here. They're running trailing stops. You're buying them off them right here. You got your orders in a tight pack, 10 pip window to make 30, 40, 50, 60 pips. You got to keep reloading that gun at this level. Here's another ripe for the pickings entry. And same on the sell side. You'd have to take some heat here. But see, it pays off coming back. So you're trading wick to wick, wick to wick. You're a range trader. Got to pay the rent. Range traders are making money. There's a, you can hardly see it back here, but there's a vacuum here. So we fill that, it comes back the other way. Right, see this vacuum here. So right here at this wick here, you're selling up into that, and you're going to make all the money coming back the other way. Right, this is the void. So actually, this is quite a huge void, because you're talking about a shelf in here like this. So you know that your sell limits go all the way into that, and you only get bagged on this first tippy top. But that you actually make all the way back. Now you're going to trade wick to wick, so limit to limit, heartache to heartache, right? You started selling into this window, and your buyback is going to start right here. That's wick to wick, auction to auction. On fair value, it's unfair value. Fair value's been all this bullshit. And this is the fair value for that session there. We're going to buy. We want to get in and out at fair value. When everything is fair, it's a doji. When everybody agrees and everybody comes to a rest, is right here. Low ATRs, doji. There's only a couple places on here where everybody calms down and goes, let's see now. And are the sellers going to come in? Is there a trend line about to break here? Well, it doesn't. Is there still vacuum on the north side? So where are we at? Now there's a little bit of vacuum here caused by this big smash down. You could kind of see, you could make it to here tonight, then you dump. You just get out. I mean, I do. You could ride that thing to all sorts of shit, and then in the end go, well, Theo told you. Yeah, dude, you see, I told you, like, you totally blew up your account, right? So I'm crashing this drawing tool. I'm double clicking and stuff. Don't get me so excited here. So, but this is completely valid to put buy limits down here. I don't know what the problem is with people. I guess they don't want that deep discount. If you bought, like, it was no tomorrow here. Now, granted, down here, very dense orders with scalps. There's maybe 13Ks, 20Ks. And you made so much money that you don't even have to ride this. I mean, you could, but we're going trap to trap, because it's all about the goobers, right? It's all about the Gartley goobers and the geometry goobers and all these people that are trying to put their fucking designs on the market. They're all going to get clobbered. Look at this pullback here, right? Look at this. So we're going to buy this plunge, right? Oh, we could actually go down to 110 tonight, right? So I'm going to put all my buy limits down there. You look at this British pound's taking off. So I missed out, right? I'm not chasing it. I could sell right here. Start right at this ledge. Right? Now these are 10Ks. So you know, you got to think these. I'm putting them on the ledges, right? I'm putting them in a logical place. I'm putting them as they stream out. This is where all the goobers that are short. Okay, if you think it's going down, your trailing stops are up there, so I'm going to capture those. Then we go to the dollar yen. Here is the euro dollar, screaming north, right? This I'm selling it. I'll actually buy this if it pulls back and comes down here. So these are all 10Ks. So that trade plan's done. Here, same story. I'll buy if it drops. Anything down here, I'll buy for a dead cat bounce. 10Ks. And this big pool down here, scalp style. And that's it. Now here I'll sell anything above yesterday's high. Probably won't get filled, but hey, 8 hours, right? I'm giving it 8 hours. Now that's a dense scalp kind of thing. Is that a perceivable trade? Yeah, that's a lot of tickets to throw on there. So always start off super wide. Go down here and pick up 40 pips, 5K. 80 pip stop. Place the same order on the top of that. Now this is a whole different kind of trading. Now that's swing trading up there. That's logarithmic entry. If I start laying these end to end, it's going to look just like that, right? Now that's harmonics to me. See, I always thought when they were talking harmonic trading, I thought they were talking about order placement and harmonics. So you have like a, instead of being linear, you got these hot spots, right? It's a harmonic. Another log here, 20K starting at a different price all the way up into the nosebleed. I gotta be careful. I gotta be on the demo. That's another reason why I'm trading demo. I just got a violation from my real broker telling me that yeah, they shut me down. Oh, too many tickets. So that hurt because I thought it was something wrong with my tablets. So I stripped the fucking tablet so squirrely. Almost threw it against the wall, so I only had to control my anger there. Anger management classes. So I think we missed the long trend. So I'm going to counter trend trade this in the off the round handle. Why not, right? So just getting used to placing these orders up here and seeing that it's a chess game. The market makes a move, you have no choice. The market's deciding what game you're going to play, right? You're not in control of the market. So if you're used to having things go your way because you've got a half a brain, right? So the smarter you are, the harder it is to make money trading because you're like, oh well, then what I do here is now this is perfect actually for somebody with a day job to just place orders down here in a really obvious place. You want to buy 110. This would be the target for Kelvin, and he would brag that he made all this money. Now, notwithstanding the 100 pip slams around here, this is why trend traders will find it difficult to make money trading because they can't get there. They have to get that range trading thing going, right? So you're not in a relationship that's going somewhere. You're in a relationship that is just a hump and dump relationship, right? You just chase the person down and you molest them and then you let them come up for air. You get them something to eat. Then you take them back to your place again. You just keep doing that until you get bored with each other, right? And some people want a committed relationship and they want, what do they call it? Confirmation, right? Make sure they take an AIDS test before you decide to make babies with them, all this shit. So that's the normal part creeping into your trading. You have to trade like a sociopath. You can't trade like a normal person would have a hard time. So that's why it's tough, right? And dealing with uncertainty and all that shit. But that was a great scalp here on the euro. Great scalp, right? Amazing. No-brainer. And it was a bounce trade earlier. Just that wick alone, you can't see, but if you drill down to the 1 hour chart, the 4 hour chart, you'll see there was a lot of craziness there. In fact, you could have bought this pullback right here. You could have sold the top and you could have bought it back, so you'd be, if the counter trend trades are making more money than your trend trades, maybe you're a contrarian. So I noticed that I'm disagreeable, so I would just see the market going up and say, well, when are we going to sell? And I see it going down, when are we going to buy? Because in my estimation, I feel like, well, for the most part, the trade's over. Like if I see it violently moving up, I'm not going to chase it, so I'm thinking, well, where can I place sell limits at this point? Because it's over, right? They're taking off without me. Plus here I'm looking at the British pound on the right, and this is leading the pound right now. So maybe I could jump on the pound train. This is breaking out the 4 hour right now, and the pound has not broke out the 4 hour yet. So it's kind of arbitrage. Right, go to the 4 hour on the yen, and you're like, oh, I could buy that retest again. Look how fruitful this range trading is on this stupid ass currency. Right, you got sell limits up here at the 112. Just redneck trading. Here, I'll cover more around that area. Oh, that's the wrong spot. Right here, I'm going to start selling above that round. This whole area right here. See, now that's about 25K. How is that not a good trade? That trade down here would have reaped you 50 pips. That same strategy of placing limits down here, after we've already been here. Right, so this is not magic stuff. This is the 100-yard line. They've trapped these guys, and like I said in the video I posted, it was like 5 minutes. What do you figure they're going to retest here? What do you think the chances, the probability of a retest is here? And if you have an order pack in here, you could have made this many pips to here. You could have said, oh, I'll trade back to fair value of this whole range. If you think that this is a range, and why wouldn't you, right? It's the Gartley living in the vacuum, okay? They're drawing their Gartleys wrong. Just to update. Right, the Gartley is the vacuum that's filling. Gartley is not on top of price. Right, they swing high to swing low. They're missing the vacuum. Right, this to me is a price vacuum here. Then we backfill. We bounce. We cash out. Now maybe it does go all especially right here. I'm selling as soon as we get to this. Right, who's not selling right up into that? Okay. So let's go back to the normal life. Okay, this has to come to here be getting out. We come back to these two that are underwater up here. Let's go to the other one. Okay, so this one we get filled here, right on the floor. We're placing orders on the last known floor. And I just put small orders in here, right? Hot spots, right like this. There's a lot of K living right here. See, I can stack up a lot of K here and make harmonics. Right here, where they're going to stop hunt the goobers. This is gooberlicious entries here, very tight pack. Talking about a 5-pip window. I just put in like you can't believe how big of an order. All right, that's for the pullback. And here, all day tomorrow, who's not selling to 8 to 19 on news? Some crazy shit goes on. Spikes up, rips back. So we can lay all that in advance here. We don't have to be a slave to the market. The whole idea of financial freedom is to just walk away. So we want to buy this. They stop hunt the low of the day. They stop. This is all next. You can lay these in, last all day. All week, you could have this strategy. Who is not buying this? Has this ever made money? A little bit of hindsight testing here. Has it ever worked out? You're going to have to take off your brilliance hat if Calvin's watching. Just imagine the market's here, and you place orders starting at 10 pips down all the way here, just in case it pulls back, right? It is bullish, right? It's at a high. Right? So you don't have to know anything. You're up here. If it's sold off, would you buy it? If it's sold off 50 pips, would you buy it? I can always answer that question. I'd buy if it dropped 20 pips, to be honest with you. I'd drop 20 pips. I'd buy this whole thing. When it's high, when it's here, would you buy next week this whole thing to play the scalp game in here? Would you do that? Would you sell all next week anything above here to play the scalp game and make a bunch of fucking money? Targets don't matter. Trends are for egos. Here's a trend. Is it just possible that the guy that range traded this nonsense on the way to that has made more money than the guy that bought here? Granted, this is a beautiful entry, right? traps. You get top, become bottom. The void's forming, blastola. You know, there's, oh, this goes back like 2 years, this shit we're cutting into here, right? Big smash up. But the guy that counter trend traded that, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. The guy that bought here, and he didn't get out here, he's going to watch his equity fluctuate here and just say, what the hell? Now, mind you, that went on for 2 weeks, right? How's the trading going, honey? Well, I was up, and now I'm just kind of, I might sell here, actually, because we could just, there's a vacuum for me here now, according to the vacuum guy, the simpleton fuck. So, honey, I got out of the whole thing and watched it go up without me. Or the other idea is that you, after a big move, you realize the market may go sideways. It's a stunner. It's unbelievable. But imagine that after a big move like this, the market takes a break and just fucks people over. Big move. Right? Big move up. Traps everybody. Big move down. So what is the argument? Why no range? Where's all the range traders? Well, you see, you got in here. Yeah, no, you made 250 pips. Are you greedy? 300 pips. Stem to stern. 300 pips. Top bottom, man. I'm buying. Okay. But we're selling here next week. And we'll play the range game. Because we need to make money. It's as simple as that. We need to make money. Not pips. Pips are for pussies. .com. Okay, looks like the ride's over here. Right. So, cash out of that. Gonna load up. Gonna martingale up on this dollar yen tonight. So grab your spurs. We're gonna martingale up on that puppy. Gonna play the range game. The range game wins. I'm telling you. That's the game we're playing, the range game.